G'day mate, my name's Margie and I'm an Australian currently living here in America. If you are new to my channel, I do Australian versus American content as well as Bluey content because I'm an Australian, as is Bluey, but I'm here in America, so I wanted to translate some of those really Aussie references to everyone else overseas. So if either of those things interest you, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. I've got previous breakdowns as well in the description box down below. But today's video is going to be Season 3, Episode 17, Rain. Now, off the bat, I've got to say that this episode was interesting, I think. I'm still not quite sure how I feel on it, but for anyone who's seen the episode Sleepy Time, there is definitely a lot of sort of parallels to that. So Sleepy Time was very popular because it was very grandeur with the music and such huge concepts and amazing visuals and not a lot of dialogue. Rain, however, also is big with the music and pretty much no dialogue. However, it's more stripped back. It's more simplistic and more elegant, I would say, almost in style. So whilst the two episodes are probably going to get compared a lot, they are also very different, I think. But Rain is basically Season 3's version of Sleepy Time. It's very out-of-the-box concept, it's quite simple, it's quite elegant, but I think they did a fantastic job with it. So let's just get started with our breakdown for it, for all of our Easter eggs and aussie'isms, and maybe a little bit more of a chat about it in general. But first, the synopsis. When a heavy summer rain thunders over the Healer home, Bluey is determined to dam the water in the front yard, while Mum tries to stop her constantly tracking mud into the house. This opening scene basically is the only time we hear them talk. It's them just saying goodbye to Bandit and to Bingo. They're obviously off somewhere. And then Bluey and Mum are staying at home. And then that's the end of the dialogue. That's all we get, those sort of 4 lines. And then as soon as the weather changes from sort of sunny to a storm, that's when the music starts. And then it's just dead silent from the characters basically, except for one extra moment. But we'll get into that later. Now, it is quite funny to see, I think, the priorities of parents versus children when the rain starts. You see Chilli just running out straight to get the laundry off the line, whereas Bluey is so excited that she can get play in the rain. And I think it's a really cool concept that they've started with this, is showing the parent perspective and the child perspective, and we're going to be seeing how that works throughout this episode. So at the very front of their house on the pavement or the sidewalk, they have 3 paw prints on the cement. And I think this is, it's a reference to, in general, families who, do their handprints on the ground when there's cement they're setting. But I find this interesting that there's only 3, which means that this obviously happened before Bingo was born. Or it could have been the previous owners of the house before Chilli and Bandit were there with their family. But I think that's just really cute that they've added in those paw prints, but it was a definite choice to only do 3 and not 4. Now we then see what the whole problem is here. Basically, it's the leaves covering up the drain hole, and that's what's causing the flooding, and that's what leads us to sort of see what Bluey has to do with the water. They keep going back to this. They keep showing the water going down this way, and the music behind it is just absolutely beautiful. So we get to see Bluey attempting to make up a dam and using her feet and her hands and whatever's around her. We then see her mum, of course, being the parent and the responsible one, getting frustrated, telling her to use an umbrella, her obviously ignoring it. And then we see Bluey race into the house and we get a scene with all of her toys. Now, I've mentioned a bunch of these toys before in our previous breakdowns and what they refer to from real life and previous episodes. The only extra things I want to add in here is, one, the toy house we see here looks a lot like the toy house you can buy in Target in Australia for Bluey's house. And also there's like a little egg toy in the background there that I haven't seen before. So for me, the first thing I thought of was like Togepi from Pokemon as a reference to that. However, it does also have glasses on it, so that makes me think that maybe it's not Togepi. So if you have any ideas, let me know in the comments down below what this toy could refer to. We then get to see our pineapple Easter egg as well. So on the backpack there, we see a whole bunch of pineapples. Pineapple is part of the Ludo Studios logo, as well as it's a reference to the big pineapple that's in Queensland, not far outside of Brisbane. And we also see in this scene toys that we've seen before, but also the tennis ball as well. So that's our tennis ball Easter egg for this episode. We then again see Chilli getting very frustrated with Bluey, telling her not to run through the house. And again, it's no dialogue. You just hear this all through the music, and it's incredibly beautiful. And I've got to give a shout out to the animators as well, because the animation they do for Chilli, for her like just verbally trying to like make Bluey do things without speaking though, so non-verbally I should say. It's so funny because like I know as a parent how many times I've just like had to point at things to try and get my child to understand. So I think it's great how they added that in with Chilli's personality for this. We then of course see Chilli just getting really frustrated with Bluey and getting another towel for her. And then this is where we see our long dog reference right inside the washing machine, which is really cool. We then see the climax of the song, and it's a very good parallel between Bluey's nature and the nature of water. So basically it's Chilli versus Bluey, with her attempting to prevent Bluey from squeezing into the house and making the house even more dirty. And it's just like the water. The water's nature is to roll downhill no matter how much Bluey tries to stop it from moving. It's the same thing. Chilli, no matter what she tries to do to try and stop Bluey from getting through, she manages to sneak away and sneak in. And it's just a really cool parallel to see those two different things. In the end, of course, Bluey gets in the house. She gets to grab all the things that she needs. And then this is where we hear the only other piece of dialogue in the show, and that is Chilli sighing, because she's just sort of giving up, basically. And then this is where we change the perspective. We're no longer seeing what Bluey's doing, but instead we're watching it all from Chilli's perspective instead. And you see her watching Bluey and realizing what she was trying to do, and I guess in a way like admiring the fact that she's trying to build this dam. You then sort of hear the music sort of like rising. You can feel the tension rising. You can see that Bluey's not going to be able to make this dam, and you can feel the tension through the music of you like, come on, Chilli, come on, just get off that chair, go and help her. And then it's just like this explosion when you see her all of a sudden step into the frame and she's helping Bluey in the rain build this dam. And then it gets even better when you see her just giving up on that idea of being a responsible parent and staying dry, and she knows she has to throw away the umbrella just so she can help her daughter just achieve what she wants to achieve for her playtime, which is really beautiful. And it's even more awesome because you can see how into it Chilli gets, because all of a sudden both of their tails sync up and start wagging, which I love that they referenced this in a previous season about like they can tell when they're happy because their tails wag. And it's so cool because now we notice it all the time and we can see how happy they are together just playing in the rain. And it's so beautiful. But then, of course, the rain stops and you can see that disappointment in both of them that their game has ended. But you get this gorgeous, gorgeous scene of a double rainbow. And there is one animation problem wrong with this as well. The color scheme of the rainbows. So if you ever see a double rainbow in real life, one of them will be red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. But the second one is inversed, so it will go in the opposite color direction, finishing off with red at the bottom. So it's the only little issue with the animation for the double rainbow, but otherwise it is a very beautiful scene. And then, you see her just consoling Bluey and everything's okay. And they're about to walk back inside, the music changes again, and it starts raining. And then you get like that moment of hesitation where you're like, oh, what's Chilli going to do? Is she going to be the parent? Is she going to usher Bluey inside? But she doesn't. They turn around and you just see them race straight back, and then that's where it cuts it. And it's just so gorgeous to see that idea of parents just letting go and being there with their kids and getting to play with their kids. So overall, while there isn't a lot, I guess, with details in this episode, just the feeling I think that it gives you of both people, I guess, or both dogs wanting to just play in the rain and explore that creative side of them and just enjoy being together and enjoying that moments together in the rain and just having fun. So I definitely think, I don't know, when I first watched this, I really loved it. And then upon the second time I watched it with my son, he wasn't as interested. So I definitely don't think it's going to end up staying up there as one of my favorite episodes. But I think it's a very beautiful episode in general. And it just brings out a lot of emotions, I think, which is really nice. And that's something that Bluey does a lot of. But otherwise, let me know down below in the comments. What did you think about this episode? How do you rate it versus Sleepy Time and versus the other episodes so far for this season? I would love to know. And as always, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button down below as well. It really, really, really means a lot to me. And if you're not a part of our YouTube family channel here, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below as well. And I will see you in another video. Mwah! Bye!